Okie doke. This is my second try because the first one went poorly. Poorly. Ended up spending way too long waiting for Google Sheets to load the plant list. So okay, so not totally done with the module, but done enough that I could get this video out. So you can see it's grayed out because it's not finished yet. Overview and outcomes, which I'm sure all of you read very carefully. I wish that you did anyway. It has a lot of content that, like, if you were, reading it and being prepared, it would probably make a difference. I like to just do a lot of work that nobody ever looks at. Just kidding. Anyway, so this is a weird week 13 here, because we're so close to the end, but there's not a whole lot of stuff due this week. Just the normal plant profiles and stuff. So this is really a week for you to maybe play catch up with stuff from the lab before that you haven't done, and or to be really thinking about what you need to do so that you finish with a boom, that like it goes well for you at the end when everything is due. So there's a lot of stuff coming up due. So this is a good week to be working on all that stuff, right? Like you've got the final versions of your plant key that will need to be done. You've got your last, the check-ins for your personal plant library, that you have all of the plants from all the, all 200 of them, that you have a place where you have them stored. Your plant family tree, which some of you did in ways that I was dazzled, which is kind of what happens. Like I have a loose idea of what can happen, and then students take the idea and really make it beautiful. So some of those were really spectacular. And the other ones were fine. I mean, like if you did it, I was fine. But some people actually really made it art, which is, can you tell I'm stumbling, stuttering, anyway. So that's also coming up due. Your final landscape project, like all this stuff is sort of wrapping up. So enjoy this little break, but use it for planning. In fact, this progress part is designed for you to check in both, like, let me know how your group is doing. It's not a group assignment, it's an individual assignment. So you can say, like, it's not going that well, or you can say it's going great and this and that and the other. Like, you can just tell me what I would want you to tell me in person, if about your group and how it's progressing. But also it's an opportunity for you to plan the next steps, right? So then you plan your work and then you work your plan, and it's like you plan it out and then you just sort of stumble forward into success. Yeah, that's the idea. Anyway, I'm trying to help you with that. I apologize too, I haven't gotten the soft chalk in there yet. But anyway, we're going to be looking at the Campanilids, the Apiales, which is, like I say this, I know every time, it's a really cool plant group. Like the carrots and stuff with these awesome umbelliferous flowers. The Dipsicales, and I don't think teasel, of course, is not on our list. Teasel is like among my favorite plants, and it is a weed. It's not ditchweed. No, that's funny to some of you, and others are like, why is she being amused by that? Maybe it's growing up in the Midwest. Anyway, so a weed that grows in the ditches up in the Pacific Northwest, and it's a thistle-looking thing, but it's not actually a thistle. Thistles are in the Asterales. The Dipsicales includes things like teasel. It's just super cool. You should look it up. It's really, really wild looking. And then the Asterales, which I think includes this, which I think is the second biggest plant family. It may be the first. I get confused. Orchidaceae, Asteraceae. Anyway, it includes the Asteraceae, which is a huge plant family with a lot of wonderful diversity and really cool shapes and forms. So, oh yeah, plant family tree. That's like I just said, the soft chalk. It's not in there. So look at that, guys. That means that those of you who have profiles and presentations this week are doing the last of them. It goes from 186 to 200. Oh! So I will be reading those at the end. But anyway, we'll get to know plants 171 to 185. And please, guys, please try to get these done. I mean, it helps everybody when you do that. Anyway, And then the plant people highlight is Topher Delaney, who a friend clued me into, and I am kind of enamored of this person. She's a real artist first. Grew up amongst some radical, very successful artists, and then applied her artistic vision in the world to landscaping. So her landscapes are very, very different than what most landscape designers and landscape architects would do. Like, anyway, you just see what you think about it. You might think it's awesome, or you might think it's hideous. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now let me read I'm hoping that this, yes, hooray, it worked out. Okay, so here we have cast iron plant, Aspidistra elatior. Aspidistra elatior, the cast iron plant. My neighbor has it growing all over the front of her yard, and I was kind of crazed when I found out what that was. Oh my gosh, people pay top dollar for that in their floral arrangements. But if I cut one of them, she'd probably kill me. Take a flamethrower to her yard. Anyway, no, I would never do that because she's awful and evil and hateful. But no, it's not okay to do that. The next one is Caladium bicolor, which makes a great houseplant. These are mostly houseplants here, right? Oh yeah, this is the one where I also added the natives in. So we did it sort of half and half. And Cymbidiums are wonderful orchids. They're those giant ones, and they're just crazy expensive. But you can grow these outside in Southern California. If it doesn't freeze, like it barely does, and certainly there are places in my yard that never freeze, I've got them kind of tucked in out there in a place that gets morning sun but is very sheltered by the house in the afternoon in the driveway. And I got flowers this year, and it was awesome. So Cymbidiums can be outdoor orchids here. Ficus benjamina, the weeping fig. Howea fosteriana, the paradise palm or the Kentia palm. Nephrolepsis exaltata, used to be, or no, sorry, cultivar bostoniensis. The Boston fern, I haven't ever noticed that plant, so maybe it's interesting. I hope it is. Phalaenopsis hybrid, so other kinds of orchids, and then Plumeria rubra. I saw these all over the wall at the San Gabriel Nursery this morning. I took a little trip there. Sansevieria was the old name, I guess, so now it's Dracenia trifasciata with that SC, I think is a trifasciata. And then Tradescantia zebrina, which has got like a name that I think we're going to find another name for that. Wandering Jew is the old name. I mean, mother-in-law's tongue is not real flattering either, but at least it doesn't target an ethnicity, which is kind of uncool. Wandering Jew. I'm going to find another name and put that in there so that we have a different name for that plant. Arctostaphylos pungens. So here's where I added in some natives. The point leaf manzanita. Rhamnia coulteri, which is, or maybe coulterii, I just have always said coulteri. The Matillaha poppy, which is blooming like well now, you'll see this a couple weeks from now, but it's blooming like crazy. It's a great plant, but it's huge and it spreads like mad. So if you want like your whole median to be Matillaha poppy, which would be fantastic, go for it, but don't expect that you're going to have other stuff there plus the Matillaha poppy. Sambucus mexicana, wonderful Mexican elderberry. It's actually native to here too. It has lovely berries, edible, kind of choice, not like blueberries or anything, but they're decent. Agave deserti, the desert agave. Muhlenbergia rigens, Muhlenbergia. Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm making it up. You can do that too. Deer grass, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous grass. And then a plant that I recently just totally fell in love with. It's planted at the Caltech campus, which is a fantastic place for identifying a lot of these, the different plants from our list, because they have really, really great grounds. You can just walk around and identify stuff with the Seek app or something. Carpenteria californica, the bush anemone, is really beautiful. Right now it's blooming. I thought maybe it was a, what is that thing that everyone grows that are so lovely in Southern California? Camellia. I thought it was a camellia, like Camellia sasquan, whatever. The less typical camellia, because it was unfamiliar to me and it looks sort of camellia-like, but it definitely is the bush anemone, and it is a lovely, lovely drought-tolerant plant. So there you go. That's it. Almost done, guys. Kind of exciting.